So in the last class, we have discussed about the solar system. Let me extend the class. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the moon and the phases of moon, etc. Phases of moon eclipse and all. So do you have the idea? Shall I skip this topic or shall I go for the detailed study? It's a basic understanding of phases of moon. You have the understanding, you all? Or shall I go for coverage?
डिटेल कवरेज
हाँ
डिटेल में चाहिए.
moon. So it's a natural satellite of the earth. ये मैंने शेयर कर दिया है, बोर्ड दिख रहा है आपको?
Yes, sir. Board is visible.
डिटेल कवरेज, अच्छा ठीक है बच्चे, डिटेल कवरेज कर लेते हैं. ये बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, बहुत सारी चीजें इससे जुड़ी होती हैं, जीएस में पूछा जाता है, तो इम्पोर्टेंट तो है. नेचुरल सैटेलाइट ऑफ द अर्थ, नेचुरल सैटेलाइट ऑफ द अर्थ. Moon is the natural satellite, and moon is also called as fossil planet. Fossil planet by geographer George Darwin. George Darwin. So when we discuss about the origin of moon, there are two theories which is important. One is fossil planet theory. Fossil planet theory. And another one is big splat theory. Big splat theory. So let's cover first fossil planet theory. Fossil planet theory, it was given by George Darwin. According to this theory, moon originated from the earth. From the and how this origin have taken place, according to this theory, George Darwin said that initially the earth was a gaseous mass and it was in dumbbell shape. This was the assumption of George Darwin, that it was a dumbbell shape gaseous mass, and this dumbbell shape was rotating. And slowly and gradually, it was a hot gaseous mass. This was the earth, hot gaseous mass. And initially, it was a hot gaseous mass. Slowly and gradually, it get cooled. Speed of rotation get increased. Although his assumptions are unscientific, पहले ही बता दूं, है ना? When it get cooled and contracted, size छोटी हुई तो speed of rotation बढ़ गया, but mass तो कम नहीं हुआ. That's why it is unscientific. है ना? Speed of rotation get increased, and due to that, centrifugal force increased massively. And as a result, what happened? This Earth this part from where the moon was associated, this part detached from the Earth and under the influence of centrifugal force thrown into the space. Because Earth was rotating very fast. And this gaseous mass, which is detached from the Earth, later on get aggregated, or accretion was done, and it formed the moon, which is revolving around the Earth on an elliptical orbit and constitute the natural satellite of this Earth. So this gaseous mass become moon. And from where this moon was detached, a depression was created. And later on, this depression filled with water. This depression filled with water. And it become depression filled with water, and it become today's Pacific Ocean. And because of this origin, this moon is termed as fossil planet. This moon is termed as fossil planet. ठीक है बच्चे? इस moon को fossil planet कहते हैं. So this is what fossil planet theory. Again, theory is based on unscientific explanation and erroneous ground. So this theory was later on discarded. But similar type of theory, the second theory is what big splat theory. Big splat theory that talks about Earth was rotating around the sun, revolving around the sun along with rotation. This was the Earth, and there was another planet of the size 3 times bigger than the Mars. This is what that has been given, 3 times than the Mars. Collided with the Earth, and due to the collision, lot of debris thrown into the space. These were the debris. And there was a massive collision, and the collision was tangential collision. It's not head-on collision. Sparsh karke, tangential collision was there. Tangent. Okay. So what happened? Due to this collision, lot of debris thrown into the space. Thrown into the space, and these debris get aggregated later on, and it transformed the moon. So moon was formed. Again, we can say fossil planet. But what happened due to the impact of this planet, which was 3 times bigger than the Mars, a depression was created on the Earth, and this depression is now filled with water, and it becomes Pacific Ocean. So this theory is what? One of the most acceptable theory. ऐसा लगता है कि ये हो सकता है, ऐसा हुआ हो, but we are not so sure. So these theory are hypothetical, but again, it is most acceptable. Most acceptable because it is a better, it has some scientific predicaments, and that's why most acceptable. So big splat theory, and there was fossil planet theory. Okay, so these two theory that has been given to understand the origin of moon. Further, if you see the moon revolve around the earth on an elliptical orbit. It revolve around the earth on an elliptical orbit. Fine. So moon revolve around the earth on an elliptical orbit. And earth can remain on any one of the foci of the elliptical orbit. So earth can be on any one of the foci. So this is earth, and moon revolve around this earth on an elliptical orbit. So there is a condition when moon is in its closest encounter. Yes, there is a closest encounter, and there is farthest encounter also. This closest encounter, here it is earth, this is moon. Closest encounter is called as perigee condition. Perigee condition. And farthest encounter is called as apogee condition. Apogee condition. Perigee condition and apogee condition. Average distance between earth and moon is 3,84,000 kilometers. 3,84,000 kilometers. In apogee condition, it is more than 407 lakh kilometers. 4,07,000 kilometers. 4.07 lakh kilometers. And in perigee condition, it is 3,58,000 kilometers. Okay, and the average distance is this. Okay. Further, you will find that the orbital plane of the earth is different from the moon. Orbital plane of the earth is different from moon. So if you see the orbital plane of the earth, so this is, suppose that this is earth. It's very difficult to find. And this is the orbital plane of the earth. Okay. Orbital plane of the earth. Orbital plane of the earth. एक मिनट बच्चे, कोई जरूरी फोन है। So orbital plane of Earth and orbital plane of Moon. So if you see, this is Earth, and this is the orbital plane of Earth in which Earth revolves around the Sun. There's a Sun, and this is the revolution. Fine. This is orbital plane of Earth, while the orbital plane of Moon is different. And the orbital plane of Moon is inclined by 5 degrees on the orbital plane of Earth. So Moon has different orbital plane. This is the orbital plane of Moon. So Earth and Moon share a different orbital plane. That's why in every new moon day as well as full moon day, they are not in Syzygy. And this is the reason you will find that the eclipse is not going to occur on every new moon day or every full moon day, because the orbital plane of Moon is different. Orbital plane of Moon is different, and it is inclined by 5 degrees from the Earth's orbital plane. Further, we can see only 54% area of the Moon. 54% area of the Moon is visible from the Earth. 54% area of the Moon is visible from the Earth. Just 54%. Rest of the 46% area will never be seen Why it happened? Because the Moon rotation time period as well as a revolution time period is same. So this is the rotation time period. Moon rotates on its axis. Rotation is equal to its revolution. So it revolves around the Earth in the same time while it rotates on its axis. That's why the same phase oriented towards the Earth all the time. And the rest of the same phase, that is what 56% face is oriented towards Earth, which can be seen from the Earth. And rest of the 46% area is not visible from the Earth. Suppose that this is the Earth. So when moon is here, it is oriented like this. When moon is here, the same face is going to be oriented towards Earth. The same face. Because the rotation and revolution is what? Same. That's why only 56% area is visible from the Earth, and this 46% area, sorry, 54% area is visible, not 56, from the Earth, and 46% area never be seen. Okay, because the rotation and revolution of moon is same. Fine. Let's come to the phases of moon. Phases of moon. So moon revolves around the Earth and Earth revolves around the sun. So this is, suppose that this is sun, which is the center of our solar system. Right? And there is Earth that revolves around the sun on an elliptical orbit. And moon revolves around the Earth, and there are four prominent conditions over here. Let me make it some. This is the moon. Okay. So these are the four conditions when you will find moon is revolving around the Earth. Fine. When this is the condition, when moon is between Earth and sun, this is sun. Here it is moon. This is Earth. So sun rays are falling onto the moon's surface. But the area which is exposed to the Earth is dark. This area is dark. And this area is not at all seen from the Earth. That's why in this particular situation, no moon can be seen. That's why it is referred as new moon day. New moon day. No moon is seen. New moon day. Okay. From Earth, no moon is seen. New moon day. और इसको आप अमावस्या कहते हो. क्यों? क्योंकि जिस सरफेस पे मून के लाइट पड़नी चाहिए थी, रिफ्लेक्ट होके आप तक पहुंचे, वो एरिया पे लाइट पड़ती है. अब जैसे ही अगले 7.5 दिन में मून चलना शुरू करता है, तो आप देखोगे मून स्टार्ट विजिबल इन द स्काई एंड अ क्रीसेंट शेप मून इज विजिबल. सो देयर इज अ वैक्सिंग क्रीसेंट फेज. Waxing crescent phase. And after 7.5 days, this is the first quarter, we are going to see the half moon. Half moon will be seen. And then this half moon start increasing and it forms gibbous. And there is waxing gibbous phase. Here, the sun rays are falling onto the Earth and reflected towards the Earth, and we are going to see the entire moon, and that's why this is what full moon day. Full moon day. Again, there will be 7.5 days, and this is considered as quarter 2. Then again, after full moon day, the gibbous start waning. So here we have waning gibbous. Waning gibbous phase. And in next 7.5 days, when we are in quarter 3, third quarter, again we are going to see the half moon. And this time this half moon is going to disappear in next 7.5 days. And this is called as waning crescent. Waning crescent phase. And the entire moon get disappear, and again this new moon starts. So you'll find that 29.5 days, this is the rotation period, revolution period of moon, and these are the phases of moon when moon is visible in different shape. Fine. Let's talk about eclipse. Eclipse. And the first one is solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. In solar eclipse, what happened? This is sun. Fine. Here it is Earth. And moon comes in between sun as well as Earth. So sunlight is actually blocked by moon. And on Earth's surface, sun is not visible. From this very point, sun is not visible. And this is what the clear-cut solar eclipse. Sometimes it is total solar eclipse, where complete darkness is there. And sometimes around this complete dark region, there is diffused light region, where you will find partial solar eclipse. Partial solar eclipse. Complete dark region is called as umbra region, while partial solar eclipse region or diffused light region is called as penumbra region. Penumbra region. In this particular case, when there is a solar eclipse, you will find that this is new moon day also. New moon day. The moon is not visible, but it is going to cast its shadow on the earth and block the sun. And this new moon day is special as sun, moon, and earth, all the three are in a straight line. Straight line. This straight line alignment is not possible on every new moon day. And this straight line alignment is called as Syzygy. Syzygy, straight line alignment. And every new moon day, there will not be Syzygy. Syzygy. And hence, the solar eclipse. Because every month, this condition will be repeated. There is a moon and there is a new moon day. But every new moon day, will not be Syzygy, and hence there is no solar eclipse. Fine. Why it happened? Because of the same reason, the orbital plane the orbital plane of Earth and Moon is different. Orbital plane of Earth and Moon is different. The orbital plane of PLANE, plane of Earth and Moon is different. And how much difference is there? This is the Earth orbital plane. Here it is the Moon's orbital plane. And Moon's orbital plane is inclined on Earth orbital plane by 5 degrees. That's why every new moon or every full moon is not going to have syzygy. Okay? नहीं तो हर पूर्णिमा और अमावस्या को सूर्य ग्रहण और चंद्र ग्रहण लगते ही लगते. Is it fine? ठीक है बच्चे? So this is what solar eclipse, and in solar eclipse we have diamond ring structure, which I have discussed earlier कि जब सूरज की ऊपर चंद्रमा की छाया पड़नी शुरू होती है, पूरा सूरज ढक जाता है, लेकिन एक छोटा सा पार्ट एक्सपोज रहता है बच्चे, जहां से खूब रोशनी निकल रही होती है. एंड दिस लुक्स लाइक डायमंड रिंग स्ट्रक्चर. And at the time of total solar eclipse, the corona is visible. The corona of sun is visible. Corona of sun is visible. Fine. Let's come to the lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse. So in case of lunar eclipse, what happened? This is sun, and here it is Earth, and the moon is here. And this is what? New moon day. New moon day. You expect कि आकाश में चांद होगा, लेकिन चांद जैसा दिखता है वैसा ना दिखे. कैसा दिखे बच्चे? या तो दिखे नहीं, या फिर दिखे तो ब्राउनिश कलर का, रेड कलर का दिखे. रेड या ब्राउन. क्यों ऐसा हुआ बच्चे? क्योंकि देयर इज अ सिजिगी कंडीशन. मून, अर्थ एंड सन इज इन स्ट्रेट लाइन. CG. And this syzygy is occurring on new moon day. तब क्या होगा? सूरज से चलने वाला प्रकाश अर्थ से रोक दिया जाएगा. And it is not reaching onto the moon. That's why moon is not visible, and we call it lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipse. But what happened? Sunlight also reaching to the Earth's atmosphere, and due to the change in density of atmosphere, sunlight get refracted, and it is start falling onto the moon. Because this is what atmospheric gases around the Earth, some sunlight start reaching onto the moon. This is what atmosphere. And in atmosphere, the sunlight get refracted. Refraction. And due to this refraction, what happened? Diffused light start reaching onto the moon. And this diffused light further reflected back to the Earth. From the moon, it gets reflected back. And moon is visible, but the color is red or brown. Such moon at the time of lunar eclipse is called as blood moon. Blood moon or red moon. Red moon or blood moon. So red moon or blood moon is at the time of lunar eclipse. And lunar eclipse takes place on new moon day. But do remember, every new moon is not going to have lunar eclipse. Every new moon is not going to have lunar eclipse. Why? Because the orbital plane of moon and orbital plane of earth has a difference of 5 degree, and every time syzygy is not possible. So this is new moon lunar eclipse. And if you talk about the duration of lunar eclipse, ranging for hours. Ranging for hours. घंटों के लिए होता है बच्चे. उसका कारण ये है कि Earth is also revolving like this and moon is also revolving around the earth. So दोनों साथ साथ एक ही दिशा में काफी देर तक चलते हैं. That's why lunar eclipse duration is for hours, while in case of solar eclipse, it is for few seconds. Duration of solar eclipse is of few seconds to few minutes. Few minutes. Okay. Why? Because if you see at this position, Earth is moving like this and Moon is moving in opposite direction. That's why they cross to each other in a very less time. आप देख पा रहे हैं ना? Moon is revolving like this and Earth is revolving like that. तो यहाँ पे Earth Sun के को revolve कर रहा है तो इस side में जा रहा है. And Moon revolve around the Earth, so moving in opposite direction. That's why they cross each other in a very less time. This is the reason why solar eclipse duration is what less and lunar eclipse duration is more. Okay, so in that slide, this lunar eclipse and solar eclipse has been explained to you. And do remember, lunar moon is responsible for bringing tides on the Earth's surface. Now, so when I discuss tide in oceanography, again, this moon will come to you. Before that, two more thing is important, which you should know, and that is what one is blue moon. These are the term blue moon. And another one is super moon. Blue moon and super moon. So what is blue moon? So normally in a month, there are one new moon day and one full moon day. But sometimes in a month, there are two full moon days. Two full moon days. The second full moon day is called as blue moon, which is a rare phenomenon. So it occurs because of the calculations in calendars. No? This is what we call blue moon, and we usually use it for rarest of rare occurring thing, like once in a blue moon. Fine. And let's come to the super moon. Here, let's take up super moon. Super moon is a situation when moon is 14% large in size, and 28 to 30% brighter. When moon is 14% larger in the normal size, 14% larger from the normal and 28 to 30% brighter, then we call it supermoon. And when it occurs, supermoon occurs in a situation when moon is in perigee condition. Perigee condition. That means closest encounter. And on this particular day, there must be full moon day. यानी पेरीजी हो और फुल मून डे हो तो उस दिन चंद्रमा नॉर्मल से 14% बड़ा दिखता है और 28 से 30% चमकीला दिखता है. उसे सुपरमून कहते हैं. लेकिन इसको होने के लिए क्या चाहिए बच्चे? चंद्रमा पृथ्वी के सबसे निकट होना चाहिए. दिस इज अर्थ. हियर इट इज द पेरीजी कंडीशन. Perigee condition, that is the closest encounter, and that too on this particular day there should be full moon day. तो ये दोनों चीजें मिलेंगी तो उस दिन चंद्रमा क्या होता है? 14% बड़ा दिखता है, 14% bigger and 28 to 30% brighter, and this is what we call super moon. Fine. So this is all about moon. This much understanding you should have. So moon has no atmosphere because it has less gravity. You all have this idea. And these are the things which you should know about the moon. Let's take up again the earth and let's talk about the earth movement. So we have two types of movement. One is rotation. Another one is revolution. Before the movement, I would like to introduce the tilt of the earth. Tilt of the earth. So earth is tilted on its vertical axis. The earth is tilted from its vertical axis. This is the earth, and here it is the vertical axis. And earth is tilted from its vertical axis by 23.5 degrees. And on this tilted axis, earth rotates from west to east, in anti-clockwise direction. From west to east in anti-clockwise direction with respect to north pole. Okay, on this tilted axis. And due to the tilt, what happened? Sun rays, vertical sun rays, are migrating from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. ठीक है बच्चों? And due to the migration of sun rays, there is a seasonal change on the earth. And due to the seasonal diversity, seasonal variation, there exist other variations. Exist other diversity. Seasonal variation, there exists other diversity. Okay. So this is what the seasonal change, it is observed because of the tilt. And on this very tilted axis, Earth performs its rotation and a revolution. So let's take up rotation. As you know that Earth rotates on its axis, obviously tilted axis, from west to east in anti-clockwise direction. In anti-clockwise direction with respect to North Pole. Anti-clockwise direction with respect to North Pole. And it completes one rotation in 24 hours. It completes one rotation in 24 hours. Fine. Due to rotation of the Earth, this is Earth, and suppose that here it is the sun. So this part get illuminated. So you'll find this day, and this part is what dark. So you'll find night. So due to rotation of Earth, we have days and night. Days and night. Due to rotation of Earth, you will also find change in temperature. Change in temperature of the Earth. Obviously, when there is day duration, there is high temperature. And when there is a night duration, when there is night exists, so obviously there will be low temperature. And due to day and night, sometime there is genesis of local pressure gradient. Local pressure difference. And due to local pressure difference, we are going to find some local wind blowing. Local winds. So due to day and night, some local winds are there. For example, sea breeze, land breeze, mountain wind, as well as valley wind. Mountain wind as well as valley wind. So let's take up one by one. For example, sea breeze. So this is land and here it is ocean. So any wind blowing from sea to land is called as sea breeze. That means wind always blowing from high pressure to low pressure area. So for low pressure, there must be high temperature. And on the land, high temperature will be in the daytime. In the day when heating of land is more, so you will find high temperature develops on the land because land get heated early. So high temperature, hence low pressure. And relative to the land, water will be at low temperature. So due to low temperature, there will be high pressure. And that's why the sea breeze is blowing in the day from the sea to the land. And it is why? Because of day. And day and night is because of rotation. There is another example that we call land breeze. Land breeze, which is blowing from the land to the sea. From the land towards the sea. This is the ocean. Here it is the land. And the wind is blowing from high pressure to low pressure. High pressure to low pressure. High pressure means there should be low temperature. And this low temperature exists on land at night. रात होते ही land क्या होगा? जल्दी से ठंडा हो जाएगा. It radiate all its radiation and water remain at high temperature relative to land because water get heated late as well as cooled late, cooled slowly, heated slowly. धीरे धीरे heat होता है बच्चे and cooled slowly. So what you will get? If it get cooled slowly, so रात हो जाएगी, फिर भी धीरे धीरे ये cooling हो रही होगी, इसलिए ये high temperature पे होगा. That's why the breeze is blowing from land to sea, from high pressure to low pressure. This is called as land breeze. Okay. So night or early in the morning, this breeze will be there. Early morning. Early morning मतलब before the sunrise. तो देखो कितनी अच्छी बात है कि यहाँ से आपको केवल नाव में बैठना है और हवा आपको लेके हाई सी में चली जाएगी. तो अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग अगर फिशरमैन उठते हैं तो विदाउट एक्सपेंस ऑफ पेनी दे कैन रीच टू द हाई सी एंड दे कैन कंप्लीट देयर वर्क एंड देन दे सेल देयर बोट टुवर्ड्स द कोस्ट एंड दे विल रिटर्न टू द कोस्ट just with the power of the nature. Power of the nature. They can move here and there. Isn't it? So why this land breeze and sea breeze is there? Because of day and night, because of rotation of the earth. And likewise, the mountain breeze and valley wind, that is also because of variation in the day and night temperature and hence pressure, and pressure gradient is responsible for it. We will discuss it in local wind. Right now, this much is enough. Further, what else? The third thing is due to rotation, there is Coriolis effect. Coriolis effect. So this is an effect which can be felt on the Earth's surface, anything moving horizontally. Anything moving horizontally, whether it is wind, anything moving horizontally in the northern hemisphere tend to get deflected towards right, and in southern hemisphere tend to get deflected towards left. And this is what this apparent deflection is called as Coriolis effect. And this Coriolis effect is because of rotation of the Earth. Rotation of the Earth. Rotation of the Earth. Fine. This kind of effect is because the Earth is rotating in a 24-hour. This is the pole. Here it is one latitude in higher latitude, one higher latitude, one mid latitude. Try to see. This is equator. If you see the circumference of the equator, it is more than 40,000 kilometers. And if you see the circumference, as you move towards pole, you'll find the circle created by latitude is what smaller and smaller. At the pole, it is represented by point only. So at equator, we have to cover longest distance. So if you start running at equator to cover 40,000 kilometer, more than 40,000 kilometer distance, in that too in 24 hours. So the point at equator is moving fastest. So equator is moving fastest. And as we move towards pole, North Pole, the relative speed is getting slower and slower. So if you are throwing something from a car, let's say it is moving with a speed 100 kilometers per hour. And if you throw this ball towards a person who is standing over here, or he is also moving a car which is moving with a speed, let's say 20 kilometers per hour. So this is 100 kilometers per hour. This is 20 kilometers per hour. You want to throw this ball to your friend who is moving in this car, and with expectation that this ball will move in a straight line. But what happened? This is moving fast, so it's not reaching over here. Rather, it get deflected and fall here. Why? Because this car has an initial speed of 100 kilometers per hour. So when ball is released, it is also with this much speed. That's why it is not reaching to the straight, rather it get deflected and it will reach over here. So this is a deflection towards right if it is a northern hemisphere. And likewise, if a car, same car is moving with 20 kilometers per hour. So the ball is not reaching in a straight line, rather it get deflected towards here and it will reach over here. The same scenario is developed on the Earth's surface. Because the equator is moving at very high speed as compared to other points. So anything which is moving from equator to North Pole get deflected towards right, and from equator to South Pole get deflected towards left. And this apparent frictional drag is called as Coriolis effect. Coriolis effect, or it is called as Coriolis force. It is called as Coriolis force. ठीक है बच्चे? It is called as Coriolis force. Is it fine? Coriolis effect or Coriolis force. ठीक है? Coriolis effect or Coriolis force. Fine. This is apparent frictional drag, which is what dragging anything towards right in northern hemisphere and towards left in southern hemisphere. And this particular rule is called as Farrell's law. Farrell's law. Fine. Basically, this Coriolis effect is because of rotation and sphericity of the Earth. Let me explain this sphericity. अगर अर्थ इस तरह से स्फेरिकल है बच्चे, तब इक्वेटर सबसे बड़ा है, और जैसे जैसे हम पोल की ओर जा रहे हैं, जो सर्किल लैटिट्यूड की है वो छोटी होती चली जाती है, एंड पोल पे ये पॉइंट के रूप में शो करती है। लेकिन इसी कारण से क्या हुआ, हर पॉइंट अलग अलग स्पीड से चल रहा। लेकिन ये अर्थ अगर मान लो ऐसे रेक्टेंगल होती, लेट्स से दिस इज 90 डिग्री, वो भी 40,000 किलोमीटर का होता, और ये भी 40,000, इक्वेटर भी 40,000 किलोमीटर का होता, तो यहाँ जो भी पॉइंट होता, दोनों पॉइंट इस 40,000 किलोमीटर की दूरी को 24 आवर में पूरा करते। इसका मतलब दोनों की स्पीड सेम होती, एंड इफ द कार इज मूविंग विथ सेम स्पीड, so you can easily throw the ball and it will reaching in a straight line, because the ball has an initial velocity which is equal to this car and this car only. That's why it is moving in a straight line, है कि नहीं? So if this earth is not spherical, rather it's a rectangle and it is revolving also, तो भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि डिस्टेंस 40,000 किलोमीटर ही होता और 24 घंटे में दोनों डिस्टेंस तय की जानी होती, तो स्पीड में अंतर नहीं होता। ये अंतर हो रहा है स्पीड में क्योंकि अर्थ स्फेरिकल है, रोटेशन हो रही है और स्फेरिकल। सो दिस कोरियोलिस फोर्स इज बेसिकली बिकॉज ऑफ द स्फीरियोसिटी ऑफ द अर्थ। अगर अर्थ रोटेट भी करती और स्फेरिकल ना होती तो भी कोरियोलिस फोर्स नहीं होती। अब चूंकि कोरियोलिस इफेक्ट है बच्चे, रोटेशन के कारण है, तो रोटेशन इज गोइंग टू अफेक्ट विंड डायरेक्शन, इट इज गोइंग टू अफेक्ट ओशन करंट्स, it is going to affect cyclone formation, and any kind of movement, horizontal movement is going to be affected by rotation. So is it understandable? Rotation. Hello. रोटेशन कोरियोलिस फोर्स समझ में आया भाई?
Yes, sir.
ओके, आइए बात करते हैं रिवोल्यूशन। रिवोल्यूशन तो अर्थ रिवॉल्व्स अराउंड द सन on an elliptical orbit. On an elliptical orbit. And sun can remain on any one of the foci of this elliptical orbit. सन कहीं भी हो सकता है, किसी भी एक फोकस पे सूरज हो सकता है। मान लीजिए ये फोकस हुआ, तो दो कंडीशन यहां भी पॉसिबल होती है बच्चे, एक है पेरीहेलियन और दूसरी है एपहेलियन। दिस इज व्हाट एपहेलियन, सबसे दूर वाली जो कंडीशन है। तो द फारदेस्ट position is called as aphelion. Aphelion. And the closest condition is called as perihelion. Aphelion में distance होती है बच्चे ज्यादा, and it happened to be 152.5 million kilometers. While in perihelion condition, it is 147.5 million kilometers. Aphelion occurs on 4th of July. Aphelion occurs on 4th of July when the Earth is in its farthest encounter, while perihelion occurs on 3rd of January. So this is the first thing. Earth revolves around the Sun on an elliptical orbit in 365 days, 5 hours, 56 minutes and 9 seconds. ठीक है बच्चे? This was the total time period. And this additional time period of 5 hours, 56 minutes and 9 seconds, after 4 years, it become one complete day. And this one day is added in February, and February become 29 day, and that year become leap year. उसे leap year कहा जाता है ना बच्चे? Revolution. Further, due to the revolution and the tilt of the earth, sun rays migrate from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn. And what happened due to that? Due to that, there is a seasonal variation. This is equator. Here it is 23.5 degree. And this is 23.5 degrees south. This is equator. Sun's rays are vertical over equator on 21st March and 23rd September. We call it equinox. And March wala spring equinox. And April wala autumn equinox. When sun rays are vertical over Tropic of Cancer, it occurs on 21st June. And this is what called as solstice, summer solstice. Summer solstice. The meaning of solstice is what? Transition. Transition. Sun rays goes vertical up to 23.5 north. Now this particular day and beyond, sun rays start migrating towards south. It is never going beyond 23.5 degree vertical. Fine. So vertical sun rays start transiting from Tropic of Cancer on this particular day. That's why it is called as solstice. And because there is a summer season in Northern Hemisphere, there is summer, that's why it is called as summer solstice. And in next 3 months, sun rays again going to be vertical at equator, and the same equinox is going to be repeated on 23rd of September. What else? Sun rays again moving towards further south, and in 3 months it is vertical over Tropic of Capricorn, and the date is 22nd December. 22nd December. This particular date is another solstice, but this time in Northern Hemisphere there is winter. So it is called as winter solstice. And because of migration of sun rays between Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, we have this seasonal variation. So try to see this seasonal variation. On this particular variation, what are the specialty? Let's find it out. So when sun rays are vertical over equator, this is sun rays. When it is vertical over equator, circle of illumination, that is also called as light circle, is crossing both the poles. This is North Pole, here it is South Pole. Circle of illumination crossing both the pole, and there will be equal day and night throughout the globe. So 12-hour day and 12-hour night throughout the globe. And that's why it is called as equinox. That means equal day and night of 12 hours throughout the globe. Equinox, it occurs on 21st March, and which is called as a spring equinox. And 23rd September, we call it autumn equinox. Let's take up one, and that is what 21st March. Next 3 months, sun rays are vertical over Tropic of Cancer. Sun rays are vertical over Tropic of Cancer. This is equator, here it is Tropic of Cancer. Sun rays are vertical over here. This is North Pole, here it is South Pole. Circle of illumination crossing entire North Pole. And there is darkness prevailing on the South Pole. At equator, there will be 12-hour day and 12-hour night. And this is not going to change in any season. So there is no season at equator. इक्वेटर पे सीजन का कोई कॉन्सेप्ट है नहीं, पूरे साल 12 घंटे के दिन और 12 घंटे की रात होती है. लेकिन एज वी मूव फ्रॉम इक्वेटर टू नॉर्थ पोल, we will see that the day duration is on increase. There is additional day, 12 hour plus 12 hour. So day duration is increased, more day duration. So light ज्यादा समय तक रहेगी, तो heating होगी. That means there will be summer in northern hemisphere, and there will be winter in southern hemisphere. And this is the date 21st June. And beyond 21st June, sun rays start migrating towards south. That's why we call it summer solstice. Summer solstice. And in the next 3 months, sun rays migrating towards south and reaching on equator, and the same equinox will be repeated as we have seen over here. That is the equinox of 23rd September. But what else? On 23rd September onwards, sun rays start migrating towards south, and in next 3 months, it will be above Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn. This is 0 degree. Here it is Cancer. This is Tropic of Capricorn, and here it is the sun rays. This is North Pole. Here it is South Pole. Circle of illumination crossing entire South Pole, and darkness prevail at North Pole. On equator, we have every time 12-hour day and 12-hour night. There is no change, but this is the date 22nd December. And as we move towards South Pole, we find that the day duration is on increase. That means there will be summer in South Pole and winter in North Pole. And this is why this 22nd December is called as winter solstice. Winter solstice. So in winter solstice, you will find winter in northern hemisphere and summer in southern hemisphere. Why not we call it summer solstice? Because northern hemisphere is containing seat of power, seat of knowledge, more country, etc. And that's why every study, every learning has been taken with respect to North Pole, northern hemisphere. So if there is northern hemisphere, winter is prevailing over there. So we call it winter solstice, not the summer solstice. So this is how the seasonal variation takes place. And this seasonal variation is because of tilt of the earth. And earth is going to have different season, and the seasonal variation is what? A tribute of the earth. Okay. And if we have to choose whether it is revolution is responsible for seasonal variation, revolution or tilt, so we must go with tilt. Because if earth is revolving and there is no tilt, so obviously earth is going to receive same kind of sun rays throughout the year. So earth is going to receive same type of sun rays, vertical sun rays at equator, oblique sun rays over here. So there is a belt and there is no seasonal variation, which we find due to tilt of the. Is it fine? So this is all about rotation, revolution, seasonal variation. We have seen, and we discussed about the eclipse, solar and lunar eclipse. So I should stop here. तो अगली क्लास में मिलेंगे और लैटिट्यूड, लॉन्गिट्यूड, टाइम जोन, टाइम कैलकुलेशन के साथ. ठीक है. आपके मन में कोई सवाल हो इससे संबंधित तो अगली क्लास में आप पूछिएगा, हम लोग बातचीत करेंगे. ठीक है. आई एम साइनिंग ऑफ. थैंक यू वेरी मच. अच्छा, ये पीडीएफ भी चाहिए. आप इस पे नोट्स नहीं बना रहे क्या हर्ष?
सर थोड़ा थोड़ा छूट गया है.
अच्छा, क्योंकि ये असल में हो नहीं पा रहा था. मैं देखता हूँ. अच्छा हो जाएगा तो अच्छी बात है, नहीं आपको पीडीएफ भेज दूंगा. इज इट ओके टू एवरीवन?
यस सर.
कोई सवाल है आपके मन में तो पूछे मुझसे. चलिए फिर कल हम लोग नहीं मिल रहे हैं, परसों मिलते हैं फिर. उसके आगे की कहानी लेके। थैंक यू वेरी मच।